In this video, we'll take a quick look at Python classes. You can choose your paradigm in Python. Procedural, object-oriented, or even functional programming work well. I find that a lot of students feel that the quote-unquote right way to do things is the object-oriented programming way. And I'm not disparaging object-oriented programming. It accounts for a lot of jobs my students get, so it is and will be an important skill. However, it's just a tool, and part of programming is picking the right tool for the job. If you're hanging a picture on a wall, don't bring out the sledgehammer. It's too much. Likewise, sometimes object-oriented programming is too much. Object-oriented programming has a significant amount of overhead, so use it only when it's appropriate. So enough sermonizing. Let's see how to define a class in Python. All right, notice the keyword class, and then you have to name your class. The recommendation is that your class name should be a noun, and it should start with a capital letter. So here I'm defining a class called sentence, which is going to keep track of things that we learn about a sentence. So every class needs an init. This is basically a constructor. And the first item should be self, so the thing that you're constructing, because a class is nothing but a blueprint for creating objects. And I'm happen to be sending it a couple of items, a sentence number and the text. So I'm storing those in the constructor here within the object. And I'm also creating another one, which is just the tokens I'm creating by splitting the text. I'm also defining a display function, which will just print out some information about the sentence. Now that we've defined our class, we can create some objects. So here I have a list of a couple of sentences, and I'm going to create an empty list of sentences. This sentence list will be used to hold sentence objects. So I start out with sentence number 1. And then for each text in my input text, which is just 2 sentences, I'm going to create a sentence object and store that in S and append it to my list of sentence objects and increase my count of the sentence number. And then finally, I can iterate over my sentences here in this list and display them. So you might have noticed these double underscores here. Those are called dunders. So we talked about those before when looking at starter code for a Python program, but double underscores and single underscores pop up in a lot of places. So the init method that we see is a predefined method, sometimes called a magic method, and these methods let you emulate behaviors for built-in types. For example, many built-in types have a length method, and the class that we created up there didn't, but we could implement one like this. And there are some other conventions in Python for using underscores. A single leading underscore, like underscore mine, is just used as a signal to other programmers that the variable is intended to be private. Other programmers may honor that and they may not. A leading double underscore is used for name mangling, to just avoid collisions with similar names in other classes. So I have a practice for you. Create a circle class. The init method should accept parameter radius and store that, and it should also set a variable area to 0. Also create 2 other methods, one to display the radius and area, and the other one to calculate the area. So give that a try, and we'll add many more features to this program in our next discussion. Until then, happy coding!